Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sports Bytes. We have a very special guest. Well, he's not a very special. He's already a special guest. He's really close to us ever since our first meeting on Sports for All. But since there have been a lot of happenings in boxing, who else but him to talk to? Before that, let me call on my co-host. First off, our boxer here, Miss Rica Aquino.
Hi, Derek. Hi, Derek Brian. Hello, Vince. And hello to our guest today. We're going to have a very productive discussion about the hottest issues in boxing today.
Yeah, it turns out to be a blessing in disguise. And of course, we also have the one who originally got him. If it wasn't for him, we don't even know our guest today, Mr. Vince Vico.
Good evening to all the viewers of Sports Bytes. Good evening, Rica. Good evening, Godfather. And good morning. Is it good morning, Cam?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, good morning.
I can
Okay,
feel
I hope you're well, man. So looking forward to another interesting discussion with Mr. Awesome here.
Yeah, for sure. And well, we already introduced him. Everybody, please welcome again a very good friend and someone who's very easy to pull, Mr. Cam Apostle.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for having me. I'm glad that I didn't say anything too stupid last time, and I'm invited back.
It's all good. It's all
Oh,
good.
oh, Cam, if you only knew up to now, I've been quoting your quotes. I've been using them up to this day in the articles. They're very good. But as I said, we were supposed to be talking last Wednesday. We had to move it today, and it turns out to be good because there were a lot of new developments in your favorite sport. All right? Okay, so let's fire it off. I'm going to give it to our boxer here. Go, Rica. You fire the opening shots for Mr.
Thank-
Awesome.
Yes, thank you, Derek. Hi, Cam. So how have you been?
I've been good. I've been good. How long has it been since we've spoken last?
I'm not really sure. Maybe a
Month?
few months? Yeah.
Months.
Life
A
is a
little over a
blur.
month. Life is a blur. But I hope you're game to talk about the hottest boxing news right now. But
Yes,
yeah.
I'm here for it.
Okay, first off, actually, I wanted to ask you this Saturday or Saturday your time, Sunday our time, we have, of course, the most awaited fight of Filipinos and, of course, boxing fans all over the world, the Manny Pacquiao fight with.
But before you go any further, I would like to actually, because I know the last time I was here, I said I didn't think Manny Pacquiao was going to win this fight. Actually, I didn't even say that. I said I thought Errol Spence was going to win the fight, and I implied that Manny Pacquiao wasn't going to win this fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I completely changed that now, and I believe Manny Pacquiao is going to win the fight.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah. I think he's got another 12 to 15 years left in him.
All right.
I believe so too, actually. A lot of people have been writing him off because of his age, but I think that is not a factor when we're talking about Manny.
Yeah.
What do you think, Cam? It's a lot of people say that this might be his last fight. Do you believe that?
Actually, to be honest, I don't know what's going on actually in his personal life. If there's something that is taking his attention away as like politics or music or whatever he's doing, family, that might be something that would be his last fight. But I don't think his body or his mentality or his career is going to be the reason for his next fight. I always like to think the reason why I like Manny Pacquiao is because boxing is not the primary thing he does. I like people who does stuff and then they somehow are also good at boxing. And the fact that Manny Pacquiao he does music, he's funny, he sings, he's into politics, and then he's also boxing. So if he decided to draw his attention away from boxing and do something else with his time, I think he's given enough to the sport. We could stop being greedy and wanting so much of him.
He actually is like you, Cam. Right? You have a lot of things on your plate. Southpaws, funny. You're both really well accomplished in a lot of different fields. But going back to the fight, actually, now we have a new opponent, Yordenis Ugas, of course, a Cuban boxer, but a lot of people have been writing him off. But of course, we couldn't really say that he is anything less of a fighter than Errol Spence. But what do you love about the storyline in this fight? Because we have Ugas, who defected to the United States from Cuba, who also had an interesting history. He had to go through many things in his life. He's going against the biggest, possibly the best and biggest boxer in the world. So what do you like about this fight?
You talk about the storyline. I think we're looking for a storyline. The story isn't written yet, because this can be a glorified story of this guy knocking out Manny Pacquiao, then facing Errol Spence and knocking out Errol Spence and having the greatest story of all time, or he can get put to sleep in the second round. So like, that is the exciting part about boxing, is that like, we don't really know no matter what, his story is going to be amazing. And for him to have this opportunity to fight on such a large stage, I don't know if it's going to be beneficial that he's finding out about it at the last moment. I don't know if it's beneficial or if that hurts him mentally. What do you think?
I don't know. Because he was initially part of the card, right? But then incidentally, his opponent also had an injury. So he was kind of like stepping up. So it wasn't like he wasn't training for this. But you said
he wasn't training for Manny Pacquiao.
He wasn't training for Manny Pacquiao. He wasn't mentally prepared for Manny. But you said a while ago that you believe that Manny would win this fight. How do you think would that go?
I don't know. And like, regardless, there's a few people who, no matter what, even when it's not really going too well for them, they find a way to win. Errol Spence is one of those people. Manny Pacquiao is one of those people. Floyd Mayweather is one of those people. They just somehow find a way to win. Even if you think they're outmatched, they pull it off. And being the fact that Manny Pacquiao is not exactly the underdog in this situation, I think this could just be just another day for Manny Pacquiao. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, this could just be a non-memorable fight that we don't remember 3 years from now.
So one thing's for sure, we're not sure what's going to happen on Sunday.
But I definitely would bet everything for. I'm not much of a financial bettor. Here's the thing about me. I don't like betting money because I value money too much, and I'll only bet on myself. But I like to bet push-ups. So what I do, like when I play pool with my buddy, if I win the game, he has to do 20 push-ups. Now, doesn't seem like a lot of push-ups, but after you lose 3 games, your chest starts to hurt a little bit, and then it messes up your pool game. So you just become worse and worse of a player. And then you don't spend any money. But I would bet push-ups that Manny Pacquiao would win this fight.
How many?
All of them. No. I would say 100 push-ups. I would go 100 push-ups, and that's a lot for me.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
I'm not a push-up guy, and you're gonna get them over the span of a day, or at least an hour.
Yeah, but what do you think about Spence having that injury? That's unfortunate for anybody, actually. A detached retina is potentially career-ending. So you said before that you and Errol Spence were kind of like friends, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you feel about that?
Now that he's so big time, not big time, but he is actually big. That is the definition of big time. He's huge. I wouldn't say that, like, I know him. Yeah, I wouldn't like say we're friends. I don't just like text him anymore or anything. But I don't think he's. I saw the car crash. If he can come back from the car crash
Yeah.
and he has two eyes, I think Errol Spence can.
He was
I think Errol
literally
Spence
thrown
can win
out of the car, right?
Yeah, I think Errol Spence could find a way to win with one eye. So I don't think this is going to be the end of his career. The fact that he's so young, he can legit take 3 years off and still not be technically old. I mean, what is he, 31? How old is
Yeah.
Manny Pacquiao?
42.
42. So Errol Spence has some time. If he takes care of his body, which apparently he does, I mean, he doesn't seem to blow up after fights or anything like that. So I see him having longevity in the sport.
All right. Thank you, Cam. Okay, Vince.
All right, Cam. You know, I saw online, the thing with people these days in a pandemic, there are some people have too much time on their hands. So so
Yes. Yes.
so
Yeah, the
when
rabbit holes I go down on YouTube, we sometimes have too much time on our hands.
so there's been conspiracy theories on Errol Spence's eye injury. I saw online there's this guy who has a conspiracy theory or trying to start something up because Errol Spence said the injury was on his left eye, and then the bandage was on his right eye. So you have all these armchair, sudden armchair boxing analysts, um, keyboard warriors saying that he wanted to cop out of the fight, using the injury as an excuse. What are your thoughts on that?
First of all, I love keyboard warriors. They are my favorite type of people. They are why I do what I do. I mean, the people who they're bless those souls. I like how every so often one of those people show up to a gym and talk smack to someone, and then they get beat up. Now, I don't advocate for that, but I do enjoy, like, these conspiracies are great to me because Errol Spence is, like, if we're thinking about it, he's a multi-million-dollar like business if you look at it like that. You're telling me, let's say that there was this whole conspiracy and Errol Spence, who in the prime of his life, who's undefeated, and really should have no reason to fear Manny Pacquiao besides the fact that he's Manny Pacquiao, why would he duck out of this fight? Let's just say all of that was true, that Errol Spence was somehow afraid of Manny Pacquiao in the prime of his life. And he decided to fake an eye injury. I mean, he could have faked COVID. He could have faked a broken arm, sprained ankle, but he faked an eye injury and then used the wrong eye patch. Do you think all of that is likely? The fact that we don't think it's likely, but there's someone in their basement who's typing that out, that makes me feel special inside. I love people like that.
All right. Well, a bit on a serious note, Camu, the Olympics just ended, and once again, the U.S. men's boxing team flew back to the U.S. without a gold medal. We want to get your thoughts on that.
Oh, yeah. They flew back with a bunch of medals. None of them happened to be gold. Let's
Yes.
look back at previous years with the exception of the female boxers, because for the longest time, we didn't want female boxers. And then they carried our Olympic team for a few years. So we were grateful to have them. I'm so glad that they're getting more weight classes now. But if you look back at the past, we didn't have, we came back for the men without any medals. The fact that our team has gotten so much better, and the fact that US, we're not like other countries where other countries have 30-year-olds, guys in their late 30s on their Olympic teams, who are on their second, third, sometimes fourth Olympic run. the fact that our inexperienced teenage boxers are taking home medals in the Olympics when they're receiving no funding whatsoever, that is amazing. I'm so proud of them. Yeah, I'm so happy for them. Also, I saw when was it weightlifting? Philippines got their first medal.
Yes.
First gold medal. That was
Yes.
How was that for you guys?
You wanna take that, Godfather?
Everybody was, of course, well, losing their minds at the time because it was very historic. I mean, that's the first gold medal ever here in the Philippines. Yep. Up to
Yeah,
now, well, up to now. But overall, it's the performance of the Philippines because I think it's the most number of medals that the country has ever gotten,
Ever.
from participating
this is your biggest medal take.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
best performing Southeast Asian country.
Mhm.
Nice. And it's like the size of our countries comparatively. I'm like, sometimes some sports just don't seem fair, just size wise. But one of the benefits of being in one of those, like, at least in the like European countries, is, at least for boxing, you can drive 6 hours, and be in like 3 different countries. So you can fight as like as a boxer, you can fight different, because each country they have different boxing styles. So you can drive from one country to another, fight the number 1 boxer. You can have all this international experience with just your car. In America, you have Mexico and you have Canada, and also they're very far apart. So it's harder to get international competition in America. So it's even harder for our boxers. But yeah,
With
also bias.
with schools opening up, Cam, are you heading out on the road again, doing your no, not seminars, but where you talk to students about bullying and all that stuff?
Yeah, no, I really wanted to get out there again. I missed live audiences. Like, in Zooms, you can make someone laugh, but it's never the same. So like I miss going to, like, I got to do a few in-person engagements, and like one was over 1,000 people, and it was like feeling the energy, and I loved all of that. It's not boxing. It is not boxing, but it's a good replacement. And I don't have that rush anymore, but everything seems to be going virtual. I don't want to build my whole schedule out for the year to be optimistic and say we're going to be out, I'm going to be in person, and then get all of those canceled. So I'm just primarily going to be on Zoom, and now I got to figure out how I can do some in-house. I hate working out in my house. I feel like there's some things that should be done in your house, and there's some things that shouldn't be done in your house. I don't even consider what I do for a living work. Like speaking, I think this is the most fun thing in the world. I don't consider this work. In the middle of my day, I get to start my day off by talking to you 3. Like my life is pretty good. So I don't even consider this work. I don't think I don't want to work in my house. I want to do this. And I also don't want to work out of my house. But I need to change that mindset, because if things close down again, I'm going to gain weight. And I got chubby during the last time we got inside, and I don't want to lose all this weight again. So I'm thinking about kettlebell workouts. Yeah, some YouTube videos and learn how to do that. But I don't know why I'm sharing that with you guys. It just popped up in my head.
No, yeah, I get it, because like athletes blow up so easily, Cam. You agree?
Yeah, it's
Like
because
one month I don't train, I become a marshmallow. So
yeah, it's because you've tricked yourself into thinking you deserve a certain amount of food
yeah.
all the time. So because you're working out most of the time, so if you're working out 9 months out of the entire year, you're eating as if you're working out, and that's fine. But if you stop working out for a week, you're still going to eat the same amount. The same portion you put in your plate, whether it's out of habit. So I end up just eating, we eat more. So I need to train myself to eat less. And being vegan has been such a blessing, one of the greatest blessings, because now I'm vegan and I eat very clean. I'm probably like 190 pounds, 195. So I'm less than I am at my fight weight. And I don't really compete anymore. So as long as I eat healthy, but then, I like to eat when I'm happy, and I like to eat when I'm sad, and I like to eat when I'm bored. I like to eat when I do podcasts. I like to eat when I edit videos.
Which is all the time.
I will edit, like I just, eating is so fun to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a comforting thing. It's not healthy.
The seafood diet. You see food, you eat it.
Yes, I'm on a vegan seafood diet.
All right, Godfather.
Okay, I don't know. I didn't hear it. I want to hear it from Cam. With the change in opponent for Manny Pacquiao, who are you rooting for now?
I am rooting for the great Manny Pacquiao.
Are you
And
root-
how dare I not root for him before? I should have rooted for him before. I've turned my back on my people.
Okay, I just wanted to hear it officially from you. All right. Okay, but seriously, Cam,
let's not just say, but he had a great fight against Sean Porter.
yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And it's not like he's going to be a walkover.
Mm-hmm. True.
And
No.
also, if he's in the situation where Manny Pacquiao, he is Manny Pacquiao, but he also doesn't have to be anymore.
True.
He's reached his legacy. He's reached his great. He can take his foot off the gas. He hasn't done it yet, but this might be the time he's done it. And now this Cuban dude is coming up from nowhere, and this is his opportunity. He's hungry. So I'm just saying, I'm excited to see what happens. Yeah.
Well, picking up from that, I mean, the camp of Manny Pacquiao is entering this fight with only about weeks to prepare. And when they prepared before, they were preparing for a southpaw. Now they have to adjust finding a different kind of fighter. Do you think that will factor in?
No.
I mean, you're a southpaw. I'm sure that you've had these things before.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think it would factor in. I think it would be more of a difficulty for a guy to realize he's fighting a southpaw last minute than for a southpaw to find out he's fighting an orthodox fighter, because that's who you train against more times than not. That's who you're most comfortable with. And Manny Pacquiao at that level, a guy can switch left or right on Manny Pacquiao. Anybody at that level, and it's not going to make that much of a difference. I think at that high of a level, with IQs, with their boxing IQs, that's not gonna make a difference for Manny Pacquiao.
Even if you're coming from a long layoff, I mean, almost how many years? 1.5 years, I think, not boxing.
Yeah, actually, then that is something against Manny Pacquiao, because father age is still undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
So could this be the time Pacquiao kind of declines a little bit? I mean, he hasn't showed any signs of it.
Yeah.
But it will happen eventually. Even Bernard Hopkins, he was 51 when he showed his age. And I mean, he was still as a month. I'm sure he can probably still fight to this day at a high level if he wanted to. He's a beast. There's just like a few people like that, like the Bernard Hopkins and the Manny Pacquiao's, the athletes who actually take care of their bodies, the ones who don't drink or party, like Mayweather's. I respect athletes like that because like all you would want to do before you become a boxer, it seems like the coolest thing in the world to be the center of the attention in the middle of the party. And when you get to the point where you get to be the party, like everyone wants to be around you, you get all the attention, you have the money, you get to buy the bottles, get the VIP, and to have the opportunity to have all of those things and say, no, thank you. I'm not going to drink. I'm just going to go straight home after the gym. And after I win a world championship fight, I'm going to go to yoga instead of going to Vegas. Like, I respect that because not all of us will do that. I don't know who I would have been. Rica, who do you think you would be?
Given what? What's the situation?
Let's say you get you have your world championship fight. You get paid multi-millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You're making millions of dollars each fight. Do you stay as disciplined as you are now? Do you drink? Do you smoke? Do you party? Do you go to clubs? Do you start going to walk-ins? Do you start throwing the opening pitch at baseball games? Do you get caught up in the hype? Do you start growing your Instagram following? Do you start selling tummy tea on Instagram? Like, it all becomes a thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Those are all distractions. How strong do you think you'll fare in those?
I don't know, but given my track record of getting money, I become more stingy when I have more money. So if ever I become a champion, I think I'm gonna be like I'll be more of a, I don't know, but you're right. That kind of amount of money, that's not mentally, that's not nothing I've ever encountered ever in my life. So getting that amount of money can change anybody. So
that money
it's
and that
not for me to
attention,
and that attention. You're right.
Manny Pacquiao, he seems worshipped by people.
True.
Mhm.
Like to be worshipped and think, oh, I still need to train as hard as I should.
Mm-hmm.
That mind state is amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be respected.
So to have that hunger to prove something when you basically have nothing to prove, right?
Yeah.
I get it. So
All right. You mentioned a name there, Bernard Hopkins. I'm going to pick up from what Vince said. Bernard Hopkins is suspicious about Errol Spence's injury.
Really?
Yeah. You want me to quote? I know Spence. I like Spence. I know he's always ready for any challenge, but I just have some suspicions about this whole thing, to be honest with you. That's what Bernard Hopkins said. I mean, he wants to see proof that the injury is legit.
Well, first off, if I have an injury, it's none of your business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to release my x-rays or release, because what if it's worse than we think?
yeah.
Remember, like, boxing is whatever people want to call it, but I see boxing as strictly what it is. It's a business. Errol Spence is $1 million business.
Mm-hmm.
If his injury is worse than it is, maybe they draw this out. Maybe I don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But there may be a reason why he's not sharing information. If he's saying that he can't fight Manny Pacquiao coming up, we have to just respect that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, you just got to respect it. You can't ask for his.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't think the fact that he came off that injury and fought his last opponent, and then now he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. it doesn't seem like he's ever been afraid of a challenge.
Sure.
So with his track record, if we're judging off of who he is, who flew to England and took Kell Brook's belt, like we're talking about the same guy here.
Mhm.
He's earned enough respect to get a pass on this one.
So before I pass it back to Rica, I want to know what's your forecast here? Unanimous KO? What for on Saturday for Pacquiao and Ugas?
I'll say Manny Pacquiao wins, but I say a closer decision than anyone thought it would be. I would say Manny Pacquiao pulls this one off.
Will it be his last or no?
Oh no. I hope not. I hope not. Unless he got something better he's doing. If you have something better to do, boxing shouldn't be your top priority. If he's out there actually changing lives and doing stuff, I don't think he's doing this for anything but the love of the game at this point. So I hope it's not his last fight though, because yeah. I mean, if De La Hoya is making a comeback, did you guys hear about that?
Yeah. Yes.
Against
I
an
was like,
enemy.
I don't want to say something I'm not supposed to say.
No, we're good. Come on.
You can roast us.
Go ahead.
We have the whole night here, Cam.
He might be thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see, well, I don't think it would be fair if Manny Pacquiao were to fight De La Hoya. They're two different athletes now. Like the idea of one athlete who takes care of his, and I'm not saying that, I don't know what Oscar De La Hoya was doing, but he wasn't training for world championship fights twice a year for the last 10 years. So their bodies are a little different. But I am liking the resurgence of seeing these older boxers kind of coming back and doing, like, first of all, I think belts are silly. I don't care about belts. I don't care who has belts. I don't care who's fighting for belts. It's no longer entertaining. Belts aren't important. I think belts are silly. People should stop fighting for them. People should start fighting for money and stop fighting for belts. But who says you have to be fighting for a world championship belt to be fighting on the main card on Saturday night? Like, I like where boxing's going. It's going somewhere. It might go somewhere silly, but I am enjoying it. And I hope that older boxers come out. I hope to see a boxer who's 68 calls out a boxer who's 71. And I hope they continue to fight, because if it's healthy, and I mean, they're taking the health precautions. I love it that these old dudes and females are getting in there. And actually, I hope some of these older females who, like the Ann Wolfs and
Christy Martin.
Yeah, and the Christy Martins who were goddesses of their time, but no one cared.
Yeah.
Like, I hope they can maybe make some type of resurgence and come out of retirement to have, even if it's like a celebrity fight match with another boxer from back in the day who also no one cared about, but they will care now. That will be so cool. Yeah, there's a market for that. Even if it's just live streamed, they can get my $5.99 US currency. Yeah, I'm not like making that much. I'm more willing I'm willing to spend my money to watch these things now. And the fact that pay-per-view is no longer, it used to be like $120 for a pay-per-view. Like back in the day, like for a Tyson fight, like I'm not paying that much money for a night. But the fact that these things are like $4.99 for a night, oh, I love it. I will be live streaming Yeah, I'll be live streaming the weirdest events if I have to.
Rica?
Yeah. Speaking of, you said a while ago that Ugas fought Abel Ramos for the regular. Is it regular? See, they have so many names. These letter bodies have
Alphabet soup.
Oh,
different. Yeah. So he got the belt, but then there was this weird scorecard in that fight, and also the Porter fight was also a little bit controversial. So, what do you think about these scorecards coming from boxing that has been a little bit problematic? Is it something that we have to live with, or what do you think about that?
I think, again, I'll take this back to Jake and Logan Paul and what they're doing for boxing and the greatness they're doing, because we have to deal with this silliness, the silliness of these governing bodies who are trying to protect their champions and protect their money. And everyone knows it, but we can't say anything because everyone's making money from it, whether the manager, whether the promoter, whether the boxer, whether the owners of venues, the advertisements, everyone is making money, so everyone has to participate in silliness, and we have to act like we don't see the things that we see. Was it Michael Fox? Did we see the fight? Michael Fox just got robbed against, I think, a Colombian fighter on one of the PBC fights. Like, it's comical. It's comical that, like you just said, he had one of the belts, the main belt, the interim. There's a under 25 WBC belt for people who are under 25 years old. Have you heard of that? I'm not making this up. I might be making this up. And the thing is, I might not be. You don't know.
It sounds impossible. Yeah.
It
sounds possible.
So silly. It sounds so possible. So, like, I don't know. I think it's all about money, and people are just getting paid off. And the reason why I was never interested in becoming a professional fighter is because of this silly nonsense. Because everyone needs to get paid into business. And you know who no one cares about? The boxer who sacrifices his life to fight. But there's a bunch of people with suits on who make the actual money. Like, everyone talks about, yeah, I don't want to get on a tangent, but I think all the organizing bodies, they're very outdated. They needed to exist back when we needed magazines to keep rankings. We don't need magazines to keep rankings anymore. We don't need rankings anymore because we have opportunities for everyone to fight. Like, back in the days, we needed ranking systems to see who deserved to be able to fight. Like, there's not that many opportunities to fight. Who's good enough to fight?
Yeah.
Everyone can fight now. Everyone has a YouTube channel. Like, everyone should be able to display their talents. These governing bodies need to go away with their silly belts. And also, what are you going to do with a belt? You win a belt. You can't wear it. You look silly wearing a belt. What are you, a WWE champion? Let's act like adults. Just accept a check and go home. You don't need a stupid belt.
Because that's what boxing is. It's prize fighting, after all, right? These belts.
Why do you need a belt like you're a child? And then you have to pay sanctioning fees for the belt? It's silly.
It can't even hold your pants up, right? It's a silly belt.
Yeah, it is silly. The fact that these grown men are still fighting for belts when they can be fighting for money, like, the whole system's messed up. And the fact that it's all built around a number one ranked contender spot and a champion spot for a belt that shouldn't really exist in the first place. What are the rankings based off of? Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
What does pound for pound mean? Is anyone going to address this? Am I the only one who finds it silly?
Well, it's a decision that just a few people make.
Who? Why do they get?
I don't even know.
And do those people get to make that decision because they were pound for pound number one?
Oh, definitely not.
Who makes the pound for pound list?
The alphabet soup organizations.
And men who
alphabet soup.
haven't even fought anyone in their lives.
Yes, men who hasn't even fought anyone. That's who's making these lists. It's silly. And it's why I don't care to turn pro. I don't want to be a part of a silly game. Now, I'm not saying that turning pro isn't beneficial to some people. It's just I'm not willing to do all this work and then to get robbed for a match.
Yeah.
And also, it's like a lot of dedicating my time to it. And I'm not going to do it 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Because as Manny Pacquiao is not going to let money and fame affect him, but I probably would. So I'm not going to do it 100%. I'm just going to stay home.
Yeah, and like you said, these fighters like Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao, they're not just like fighting for themselves. They're literally a corporation. They have people, they have thousands of paychecks to pay. So like
They're a business.
They're a business. So and I think boxing fans have these rose-colored glasses that they look into boxing with, saying that there's lots of people disrespecting boxing. But when did boxing ever become respectable, Cam?
Great question. Great question.
It's for you to answer.
It has. Oh, I've always been with you. The whole thing I was talking about Jake Paul last time I was on was the fact that he's just exposing the silliness of the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, was it respectable back when
it was never respectable? Let me tell you why it wasn't respectable. Because there are all these stories, and I'm not going to mention any names because people are gangster and I'm not. So there were people back in the days who used to fix fights and would change their name. Like they would have this one fighter fight multiple times in a night to help other fighters build their records. And this was all before camera phones. So this is before you could see anything. Guys would get robbed in fights. The term of getting robbed, some guys would get knocked out and still be written the winner, because that's what would happen back in the day. The sport was never respectable. Think about the people who make the pound for pound list. Do you think that's respectable? Who are those dudes who's never sparred a day in their life, who have never won a belt? Like those dudes are making the list. The sport is really built on that, on subjectivity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think the sport was ever respectable. The sport is about money. Somehow they tricked a lot of people into thinking the belts are more important than the money. And all of these fighters are chasing belts instead of chasing money. And that's why I love what Mayweather did. He didn't really care about the belts. He emphasized on the money because that's what I care about.
And a lot of
that and youth activities, because I think boxing is good for kids. But other than that,
maybe you can have your own boxing show. What do you think, Cam? Like what Mike is doing with hot boxing, right?
Oh no, I don't.
No, you don't think you don't think you can like have your own show? Yeah, like a boxing commentary, like a boxing show.
Yeah. And you can eat while doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Here's the issue with that. For one, it couldn't be strictly unboxing. It would be cool to like interview people and stuff. But I would have to be consistent. Like, and you guys understand with this show, you have to be consistent. Like, and it takes a lot of work. And sometimes you set up a meeting for Wednesday and it just doesn't work out. And everyone has to rearrange their schedules. But you have to figure it out and get it done every week, because you have to be consistent, because that's the only way it's going to work. Or you have an option of being inconsistent and then it just being a crappy show.
Yeah.
But why do that? And that's why I don't do a podcast anymore, because I'm not in the position in life where I can be consistent. And when I am able to be consistent, and like right now, I just want to do hood rat things with my friends. I want to hang out. I want to work on my business. I want to be able to just travel. And when I like I want to take a trip to this winter. I just want to maybe go somewhere warm for 2 months. I don't want to worry about taking podcast equipment with me or anything like that.
Mhm.
I just want to bring my laptop with me because I can work virtually, and that's about it.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah. So live, just live, right?
yeah,
Not think of-
just I don't think there's so much in life to be distracted by, guys, that we don't really live. Like, I'm realizing I have a lot of free time, and what I'm going to do is just like I'm going to just try a bunch of things out because we're distracted by buying things and doing things and consuming things, and I just want to hang out with people in person, which is not going to happen a lot too, and seems like in the near future. But I want to try new things. I'm going to do new things. I think that's what I'm going to focus a lot of my efforts on now.
What's one new thing that you tried recently?
So bowling.
Okay.
I've been bowling the last 3 consecutive weeks. I bought a bowling ball like 5 years ago, and I got it. I went bowling once. I put it in my trunk. I went to go bowling a second time, and that's when I learned you can't leave your bowling ball in the trunk.
Don't tell me it cracked.
Yeah,
Okay.
it cracked.
I know it.
And I was so mad. I said I would never bowl again. So I didn't bowl for like 5 years. And now I'm like, I can get over it. So I'm going to buy a bowling ball. Another thing I'm going to do is golf. I want to learn how to play golf because just for business reasons, granted, I don't have business golf friends or anything like that now, but I do know where I'm going to be in the future. And when I do have these meetings and stuff on golf courses, I want to dominate and I want to make everyone else feel bad and I want to win. So I figure if I just practice golf for the next 10 years, I'll be better than most people.
You can't be sipping iced tea on the sidelines, right? When you're
No, I'm there to dominate.
Yeah.
I'm there to dominate.
All right, thanks, Cam.
I don't know if you could tell I'm competitive.
You are.
It's not obvious, Cam.
All right, Vince.
All right, Cam. You a few months ago on the program, you mentioned that, and I'm going to ask you if it's still in the cards of a comeback in amateur boxing, and the Paris Olympics is 3 years away. Is that still in the cards for you? Are you still going to try and do it and maybe send a message or make a statement that at your age, and you're still fairly young, and that you can make a serious attempt to make it to the Olympic team, the Olympic boxing team?
I think without a shadow of a doubt, I can do it. And not to be cocky or anything, I don't think that's to be questioned. I think whoever is number one in America in my weight class, I'm sure I can. It's not a question as if I could do it. It's more of a question if I want to do it. And I do believe everyone thinks I can do it, so that's just good enough for me. It's a lot of work to build a business, and I didn't know that. Like I'm working on the speaking business, and in my head, I just thought, hey, you learn how to speak, boom. No, there's so much involved, and then you have to learn a bunch of stuff about taxes and hiring people, and that's just going to distract me from actually boxing. And there's so many people that I beat that shouldn't have let me beat them, but they're not living their right life. They're not 100% focused on boxing. And I just don't want, I lost a fight to Jared Anderson. So Jared Anderson's an up and coming heavyweight. I see him going to be a world champion real soon. I became distracted with speaking, and I thought I could just continue to speak and just win nationals year after year. And I was speaking, I was winning nationals. And then one year I ran into Jared in the finals and he didn't let me win. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a reminder. And he taught me a lesson. He was like, oh, because most people would throw shade or hate or whatever. No, he taught me a lesson. Like, oh, if you're not going to be focused, don't do this. Because I used to beat fighters all the time who I'm just like, oh, you should just not do this. If you're not going to be 100% dedicated to the sport, don't do it. And then after I lost there, I was like, oh, okay, unless I can be 100% dedicated. And now that business has picked up and I kind of have some financial breathing room, I can chill. I still don't even know if I want to. It's just like being in shape sounds, being sore all the time, it just doesn't seem great. Yeah, I just much rather not. There's a lot other things to do than boxing.
So
Mike Tyson figured it out.
in other words, you're in a good place right now.
Yes, baby. Yes, sir. I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place. But I might win. I might like Golden Glove Nationals. Do you guys know about Golden Gloves over there?
I do.
You've heard of
Rica,
it. Yeah.
Rica does. Yeah, Brian
okay.
does. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if they were international, but the Golden Gloves, I love the tournament. It's the most fun tournament to fight in. I enjoyed it. It's 5 days. If you win every day, if you win the tournament, you fight 5 days in a row. It's fun. It's always in a cool, well, sometimes. But when you win, you get a cool little championship ring. And it's the only trophy I keep. I don't have any trophies. I don't keep them. But I have always kept the rings, and I have 4 of the rings. And I might just, I went to Golden Glove Nationals, not to fight, just to support. It was last Saturday. I drove 4 hours to Oklahoma and just to watch. And I was looking, I was like, oh, I could have won this year. I was like, at the 5, I was like, oh, I could win. And I was like, oh, maybe next year I'll just take 2 months out of my schedule and just train, and then get like a 6-pack, get ripped, take out pictures to show my grandkids, and then get fat again.
I wanna get your thoughts. Chavez Jr. He lost to a 43-year-old an ex-MMA fighter, and that kid has a lot of potential. He has a good name, good solid name in boxing. What do you think went wrong with him? Was work ethic? Was it work ethic? What he doesn't have his father's work ethic?
Oh, so I want to share something with you guys. Sure. I don't know that much about boxing. Like, I don't keep up with it that much.
Okay.
What you're telling me is news to me. He lost to a 43-year-old
Anderson
MMA
Silva.
fighter.
Anderson Silva.
He lost to Anderson Silva. Well, actually, I used to mock those MMA guys and their boxing ability. They are getting better at boxing. They are, first of all, Anderson Silva is like, I guess I can't give him a hard time for that. I'm gonna have to watch it. That's something. See, I find out about things like this, and then I'll go and watch it. But you guys seem like the boxing fans that watch everything. You guys know like everything that happens. I'm not that good with things. And lately, I've just been off social media. I post and ghost. I don't know what's going on in the world because every time I check, something bad happens. So I don't check. I don't know what's going on. But apparently, Chavez Jr. did he get KO'd?
He lost by decision.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many rounds?
8.
Rica, how many? Eight rounder? It was an 8-rounder.
Mm-hmm. He didn't seem so into it. He didn't seem like he was 100% in the fight. And actually, Anderson Silva had some boxing fights in the past, so it's not like it's totally new to him. But I think what Vince is saying, it's just a shock because his dad is
Yeah, he's Julio Cesar
yeah.
Chavez.
So there's no reason for him to show such a poor performance.
Oh, well, he has nothing to do with his dad. Yeah,
Definitely.
just so you got a name. You can use your name to market yourself, but it can only get you so far.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, young. He has every reason for a poor performance. He hasn't done anything that his dad's done.
Mhm.
You can't judge my performance off of his dad's performance either. Yeah, it'll be the same. Rica, I judge all of your performances off of Chavez Senior's performances. Like they
Yeah.
just got the same name, and your name means nothing. I changed my name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
But
think it
that-
actually worked against him having that big name of his dad looming over his career. I think it worked against him because people are constantly trying to compare him to his father. Can't make a name
Yeah.
for himself.
yeah, there's some people that's like it's hard to break your dad's shadow. There's some big shoes to fill, and especially nostalgia, because not only was his dad great during the time,
Mhm.
but his dad's era is gone. So now you're like, it's the same thing like Michael Jordan, LeBron James. No matter what LeBron James does, Michael Jordan was there first.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Michael Jordan did stuff first that LeBron James learned from. So LeBron James wouldn't be LeBron James without Michael Jordan. But both of them are really big, have world level accomplishments. You just add that on top of the name,
Hmm.
like, yeah. But that's unfortunate because what I think is, oh, that's a lot of money he lost. His value has dropped significantly. I bet no one really wants to see him fight if he lost Anderson Silva. But on the flip note, Anderson Silva stock just rose. How much does he weigh?
Which division did he compete in the?
In the UFC, he's a middleweight.
He's a middleweight in the UFC. So
In that fight, I'm not sure what in the boxing fight, I'm not sure what weight they fought in.
probably around that range, Cam. Around the middleweight to.
Okay. Hey, you guys need to think of a semi-fighter celebrity that I could beat up, because I'll fight a former MMA guy.
How about
Oh well, who's big enough for Cam to?
yeah, so a heavy.
Yeah.
And
To
he
fight.
can weigh 140 pounds. I don't really care.
How about this guy who came from WWE who tried
Rica, how about
MMA?
Edward Folayang?
Oh, is there Filipino I can
As
fight?
a Filipino. I don't think.
Fly me over there. I'll fight a Filipino. Y'all have to cheer for me though.
Of course, when you have to bowl with me first.
Are you a bowler?
Yep. That's why.
Oh, okay.
But
Let's make a bet.
No, push-ups maybe. Push-ups.
you know what? I have a story actually. Speaking of those kinds of fights. Sorry, Brian, I cut you.
Oh.
You were saying something.
Oh,
Go
no.
ahead.
Actually, Cam, there's something new right now. Like, I'm not sure if it happens with men, but there are women who challenge boxers like me. These are ordinary women, and they would pay you to beat them up.
Like a fetish thing or?
I'm not sure. And then she was offering me $2,000, and I'm like, no. I had to think for maybe 5 seconds. Nah.
Wait. I will beat people. People get beat up for free all the time. If you're willing to pay, I've beat up people for free. Like,
Nah, but she will. It's weird.
well,
I
and
don't
she wants to do it like boxing or on the street.
boxing and it's closed door. It's just the two of us. That's weird, right?
No, she's paying you to be a sparring partner. Think no other way of it.
But it didn't come off that way, Cam. She said she's not a boxer.
Oh, I don't care. You have morals and integrity. Do you know in gyms in America, I don't know about over there, every day in a gym in America, someone walks in and says, I want to box. I'm undefeated in the streets. I'm a street fighter. And we say, no, you don't know how to fight. And they say, I can fight anyone. And then you can choose any 12-year-old to beat this grown man up. So, yeah, we understand that those people exist. You can make money doing that. I would give her a discount and do it with her once a week. Train her. She obviously likes it. You have a full-time client. She would be paying all of my bills.
No, Rica, but beat her up first for the $2,000 and then
Yeah.
train her after. Yeah.
Yeah. But something about it sounded really shady. It at my gut, it didn't feel. My gut feel wasn't. Yeah.
That's why I asked if is it a fetish thing?
I
Because
think so.
it does.
Yeah.
Because that's different.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Looking
Also,
for
I
punishment.
might do that too.
For $2,000.
How much is she paying? Tell her to call me. I'll do it.
This is on IG. I'll give you her IG account. Yeah, but
There's the internet's filled with people paying for money of pictures of feet. So like, there's nothing surprises me, and I don't judge anyone. I say make your money, yo.
respect the hustle, right?
Respect the hustle. Gotta respect the hustle, no matter what. Like in anything I do, there are rules to games, and I believe you should respect the hustle. Everyone's hustle is different, and everyone's in different positions in life. Some people have to fight other people for money. I don't judge them. Some people have OnlyFans accounts. I don't judge them. Some people motivate people. Some people preach. Like everyone does different things. I respect every hustle. And Rica, I think you should go punch that lady. And she didn't request you to be naked or anything. It's just like,
We didn't go there. I immediately said, I don't think I can do it. Because she was taunting me. She was like, why? You can't beat a girl like me? And I'm like,
hey, I'd give it that work. I would have her Venmo me or PayPal me the first half.
Okay, Cam, teach me your business ways. I'm obviously not a good business woman.
Yeah, I'll get her to PayPal me the first half, and then I would block her.
I'll give
That's
you a
not good
cut.
for karma.
50-50.
Yes. I'm Rica's manager now.
You're her agent.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. Any more questions, Vince?
How's the speaking business, Cam? Picking up? Breaking
Yeah.
it in?
Making it rain, son. Actually, business is going really well, and I learned something about myself, like who you are when you start to make money. And yeah, Rica, I am just like you. I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. Everything costs money, so I'd much rather stay home. Reading is free. I get free books from the library. So I just work out and read and just work on my speaking business. And I'm trying to be, so I miss being better than someone. That was my favorite part about boxing. There's no other way to put it. I want to conquer you. I want to best you. And I want to show you that I'm a better person than you all around. That's how I felt when I was beating someone in boxing. but I'm missing that competitive edge with in life. So I'm hoping to be able to. What I'm doing now is I'm taking that same competitiveness with speaking, and in my head I know who the best speakers are, and in my head I'm making my speeches better because I want to take all of their business from them, and I want to be better than them, and I want them to know it. But I also want to reach out from them and learn from them because they're all really nice people. So it's never in like a mean, vindictive way. I just want to be better at what I do, because that's the fun part of it.
So who's the speaking styles? Whose speaking styles have you taken and then put into your own with a little twist?
So what I try to do is, my whole thing is when I first got into speaking, I didn't know how to write a speech. I only knew how to write jokes because I did stand comedy. So what I try to do is basically a funny TED Talk. I use slides and for jokes and all. So I call it more of a performance. So it's not so much speaking as much as it is like a performance and jokes and all that type of stuff. So because it's not really a niche yet, and it doesn't really exist as a thing, people don't see the value in it yet because they don't know I exist. So I guess I'll just continue to get my name out there and continue to better my craft and become undeniable. So they chase me and I don't have to chase them.
All right, Brian.
Okay. I've been meaning to ask you this, Cam, because I heard a familiar line, and you were the first one that came to my mind. I don't know if you know about Guillermo Rigondeaux.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm assuming you saw the fight with John Riel Casimero.
Yeah, I saw highlights. I saw clips of it.
Okay, so he says that, well, that's his style. It's unique. I'd like to get your assessment on that. Well, for the non-boxers to understand what it meant. I mean, the last time out, you already explained to us that you didn't want your target is not to hit to punch your opponent, but you will hit at the right time. But somehow, I don't know, based on what I saw, Rigondeaux hardly punched.
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
No, I didn't see really a good punch from him. Well, Rica said that there were punches, but
I didn't watch that whole fight. I just got to watch clips of it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wish I could comment on that. I didn't really see the fight, but yeah, I do like defensive fighters, so I do like Rigondeaux. Who's managing his career?
Rigondeaux, I'm not really sure.
I have no idea.
Well,
Rica.
He was trained by Yordenis Ugas' coach, right? In the past, Ismael, yeah. But right now, I don't know who's managing his career. Actually, I think maybe you can say something about what do you think about people saying that he's a boring fighter? Because they don't like that kind of style. They don't like boxers who run.
Mm-hmm.
So some people have been saying this is not a marathon. This is not you're not supposed to run away during a fight. So what do you say to these kinds of boxing fans?
Screw yourselves.
Maybe they need to.
Yeah, somehow I knew that was coming.
You put me in the ring for 3 minutes. You don't tell me I have to fight the entire time. Like, the goal is for me not to get hit and hit. I don't care if it's boring for you. It has nothing to do with you. You're watching. If you don't want to watch, don't watch. But guess what? You're gonna watch because it's not that boring. Because what you're gonna do, what I'm valuable to the sport. The boring fighters that you call the boring fight, because you're not watching for excitement. You're watching for satisfaction. Now, what satisfaction is that? You want to see me get knocked out for having a silly style that you don't like. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to pay for it. And that's how Mayweather made his entire career.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it doesn't matter if people like it or not. If they hate it, they're going to watch it. If they like it, actually, if they like it, they may not watch it. If they hate it, they're more likely to watch it.
Okay.
So yeah, I like, and also, who wants, like, I love the fighters who are later in age and still have all their faculties. They still speak well. Like, I don't want fighters to take damage. Granted, everyone loves a knockout, but as a fighter, no, I'm not exchanging blows. Like, I see like just the Marquez and Pacquiao, their fights. You're not supposed to have that many of those wars in your life. Okay. If you can get away with having 0 of those, I think that's a successful career. Very few people get to, like, because sometimes you're on the receiving end of it, more likely than not, which is worse. The Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti, like,
Yeah, that fight.
those aren't good for you. Is that what you want for people? Is that what you want Rigondeaux to do? Do you want him not to remember his grandkids? Yeah. No, I love your defense, bro. Yeah, I'm all for it because I'm not watching for knockouts. I think a lot of people are drawn to MMA because of that, because they're drawn to the knockouts, because they'll look at MMA and they'll just look at it for the knockouts and not see all of the beautiful art that's involved in the sport. So those people like that are the same people who come up with crazy conspiracies that things like Errol Spence is using the eye patch on the wrong eye. Those are those type of people. And again, I love those people.
Yeah, if you're gonna lie, you have to be good at it, right? You have to be consistent.
Yeah. At least entertaining.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Errol Spence using the wrong eye for the eye patch is entertaining.
Okay. Follow up to that, Cam. There was only a certain number of punches that Rigondeaux did. Rica, am I right? 66 or how many punches?
90 for combined. So Rigondeaux and Casimero threw less than 100 punches combined during
Okay.
the fight.
Now I'm on Rigondeaux's part. He says it's enough for him. That was his game plan. I mean, the number of punches, less punches, because that's what he needed to win. Would you agree?
If that's his game plan, there are some people like that if I'm getting in there with, and I mentally make the adjustment in the fight where if I'm fighting someone and I realize the more punches I throw, the more punches they throw, I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to be super accurate and throw 3 punches. And what I would do in that situation, I just pop shot. Now, I didn't watch the fight, but I'll just do a lot of moving, pop, and then just keep moving. And I will do 2 or 3 of those a fight. Eventually, you're going to get desperate and start throwing larger, wilder punches, and then I can counter off of that. And then I just want to win off of points. If I knock you out and I get lucky, I'm grateful. But I just want to win a very boring fight, because at the end of my boring fight, I get a big ass check. Yeah. And guess what? If you have an exciting fight and you lose, your next fight, you don't get a big ass check.
True.
So yeah, protect your brain and protect your pocket. You're a business. No one cares about you as a business. You have to care about yourself. Errol Spence needs to take care of his business. His eye, whatever his deal is, he needs to take care of that.
Okay. Here's an interesting question for you. I just came across it. Assuming that Rigondeaux and Mayweather face off, who would win?
Mayweather?
Yep.
Has Rigondeaux ever lost a fight?
Yeah, I know he has.
Yeah.
So he doesn't
he is.
always find a way to win.
Yeah.
Mayweather has always found a way to win. So I would always bet on Mayweather here.
All right. So those are the silly questions I've come across. And my last question for you: what can you say about the just recently and finalized fight between Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant?
Oh, I was so excited when I saw that. I'm a Caleb Plant fan. Fought alongside each other through nationals and everything, and he's always been just, him and his dad has just always been just the kindest, nicest, most welcoming people ever. Like, so just his story is crazy. His climb to the top, the things that he's gone through in his life, the losses he's had. He's just such an amazing story, just such an amazing dude. And I love how kind of like Emmanuel Augustus, Pernell Whitaker kind of style he has, of that, the slickness and just his swag. So with that said, I would like to know, before I answer, who do you think is going to win the fight, you three?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen more of Canelo's fights.
I haven't seen any. Yeah, Caleb's.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't
You
seen
gotta
any of his
you gotta
fights.
bet 100 push-ups. Who you putting it on?
Oh!
Who you putting it on?
Oh my! I'm a big Canelo fan, Cam.
Is it because he's cute?
No, not really. No. I didn't even. Here's the thing. I used to hate him because of that Triple G fight.
Oh yeah. Me too. Same here.
You know, the moment I liked him was when he was giving a tour of his house and he showed the camera his dancing car. That's what he's out to do now. He's such a
That's what won you over.
He's just a goofy guy deep inside. He's just a goofy.
Rica, I 100% get you. There's people that I hate, and then I just see a peak that they're a human being, and I'm like, oh, I love you.
Right?
Like, okay, Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady. And then like I saw this little interview thing he did, and it wasn't even an interview. Like a kid was like, "Who's your hero?" And he's like, and he started like tearing up, and he's like, "My dad." And I was like, "Oh, I hate you because I only hate him out of respect because he's great. If he was on my team, I would like him, but now I have to hate him." But yeah, just having a peek into a person's personality and seeing who they are, because you tend to forget that these athletes are people, and they have families, and they have lives, and they have wants, they have desires, they have dreams outside of boxing, and a lot of them got bills.
Exactly. And it's hard to give a prediction because all of these things are in your mind when you're trying to pick who you want to win. So I usually don't like saying.
You got 100 push-ups. Say it. Choose a winner.
It's going to be a competitive fight.
Push-ups.
I just did 40 a while ago. Does that count?
I'm lucky to do 20, and you're gonna make me do 100.
So
You're
I'm
gonna mess up your bowling swing.
Yeah, true. Now, but seriously, I don't know. I'm leaning more on Canelo here.
I'd have to see Caleb's fights first before I make a.
I'm gonna go 100% Caleb because he's my friend, and I support him, and I know him, and I'm going All America, and but I've always hated Canelo because not always hate him. I always thought of him as a stereotypical like a Mexican fighter, and I never gave him a chance to look at him to see like what a multidimensional fighter he is. And in the last few fights, I've actually taken the time to not be biased and actually look at him, and he's winning me over. And I'm a Canelo fan,
right?
but not over my friend Caleb. So I'm all for Caleb. So I'm happy he's getting that check because again, this ain't about belts. This ain't about nothing but money.
Mhm.
Boxing's a business.
Yeah, show me
Should
the
be
money.
treated as such. Yep. And I'm glad he is making that money.
Because Cam didn't have an option now because both are right-handed fighters. They're not southpaws.
Yeah, no bias. I usually always go towards when I see two people fighting, I always cheer for the southpaw. And if there's no southpaw, I cheer for whoever's the outside fighter.
Mm.
Because that's more of my style. I'm biased towards that.
Yeah.
So more technical, huh?
Yeah.
Well, there's still a couple of months to go, and we can always talk to Cam even through messaging.
Yeah. Hey, and I'm here, and I would always love to come back.
Of course we will, especially if it's boxing.
Yeah.
Believe me, I'm not kidding, Cam. Your quotes from the last show, I've been using them up to this day when I write.
Your
Okay.
tweets.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, awesome. That's dope, man. I don't remember what I said, but I'm glad it was good.
A lot of them are good. It's all I've been tying them up, especially with the Manny Pacquiao stories. I think even Jake Paul's. I've been writing them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tag me on some of them. I'll share it.
All right. Okay. Rica, do you have any more questions for Cam?
No, you just mentioned Jake Paul. So
Oh.
is it? I'd like to ask Cam, who do you think would win, he would or
Ooh.
Jake Paul? 100 push-ups.
The thing is, I don't know how real it is.
Mhm.
You think it might be rigged? This is boxing.
Actually, it is boxing, so you never know. But
Yeah.
I don't want to say that as a way to take anything away from Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Because the fact that he has taken this seriously, granted, he's not an experienced fighter. So no matter what he does, he's not going to have the respect of an experienced fighter. And he shouldn't have the respect of an experienced fighter because he's gotten 3 fights.
Mhm.
But I wasn't sold on the Ben Askren deal.
Mm.
Mhm.
That seemed a little weird to me. And if I'm going to be me and always keep it real, that looked a little shady. Now, if that looks shady, I'm going to question everything. And I think everyone should question everything.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not mad that Bernard Hopkins questioned Errol Spence. You should have the right to question whatever you want. I
Yeah.
don't think Errol Spence should supply anyone with any explanations,
Mhm.
but I should be able to question if I think a fight is rigged or not. Just no judgment. But the fact that they're making money, I'm all for it.
Yeah, exactly. We should never stop asking questions. That's what thinking, intelligent people do. Just
Yes.
True.
ask questions. So that's it. That's my question.
All right. So Vince is also good. Cam,
Yep.
thank you so much for granting us for the second time. And as usual, it was very enjoyable talking to you, informative. And now we have bets of 100 push-ups each.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
Look
much.
forward
Thank you
to being
so
on
much.
again.
Yep,
Thank
All
you.
for
Thank
sure.
you, Cam.
And I'll at least now I know how to use your schedule again.
All right, perfect. All right, guys.
All right, Vince. Final words, thoughts.
Well, thanks, Cam. Once again, it's fun, more fun than the last time, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on, and stay safe.
Rika.
Yes, thank you, Cam. It was such a fun discussion. Thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for making us laugh. Thank you. Thank you for your insights. And also hearing you speak, it's like learning on the spot how to be a better speaker, how to be a better athlete, how to be a better liver of life. If
Thank
there's
you.
such
That
a
means a
thing.
lot.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
That actually means a lot. I love to hear that.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
If
Hope
you
to see you
only,
again next time.
If you
Next
only
time.
knew, Cam, we've been talking for the past couple of weeks when we would talk to you again because we really love talking to you. And for sure, there's going to be another one.
Hey,
You'll see.
seriously, I will be heartbroken if I don't get a request to come back.
Can it be on my show?
Rica has her own show.
Rika has her own program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rica, I'm here for it.
Great.
Reach out. All right.
Thank
Here's
you.
my contact information. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Cam. And to everybody, good night and stay safe. Oh, wait. We haven't gotten our picture yet with Cam.
Okay.
All right. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go. All right. Thank you so much, Cam. Thank you
All
for
right,
the
bye, guys.
time.
Thanks, Cam.
Bye.
Good night.
Morning there. Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.